Today on Dan comes to talk about the three superhero movies that kickstarted the superhero movie industry, the MCU: Blade, Spider-Man, and X-Men. First, let's start with Blade. Blade helped introduce horror to superhero movies by the introduction of vampires. And seeing that Mahershala Ali is going to be playing Blade in the MCU, I thought now would be a good time to talk about these great movies that we had. All of them had the two first movies in the Blade franchise were great, but the third one failed, and that is something that all of these movies have in common, besides being the punch that kick-started the MCU and other superhero franchises. So, we're going to talk about it today. First, we have Blade. Blade helped us introduce the world of horror into a superhero movie. They made us understand vampires and gave us the backstory for a superhero while not sticking on it too long. It helped us understand what the story is about, and it helped us understand how things are going to be. Secondly, we have Blade 2. Blade 2 just improved on everything about Blade 1. We already understand the origins from Blade 1, so the story just moved right along and back with the introduction of Whistle and other and helped, and Blade formed a team to take down the vampires. Blade 2 was a great movie, and it was a great movie, and it really helped shape the mold for other superhero movies. Now we have Blade 3. Blade 3 was a big disappointment, but it made a lot of money in the box office. But because of the failure of it, what happened was that the people and them decided not to go through to make another movie, and it also was a lack of cooperation from Wesley Snipes on the cast. A lot of the directors and a lot of things, rumors went around that Wesley Snipes was not cooperating with the movie. He didn't like the direction the movie was taking, and his stunt double had to do most of the scenes. Wesley Snipes only doing scenes when it was close-up scenes. So that kind of dampened Blade 3 as well. The movie was not as good as Blade 1 or 2. Now we have one of my favorite trilogies, the Sam Raimi trilogy with Spider-Man. The first movie was great. The Green Goblin, the story arc, the characters, everything about it was great. The second movie, that was fantastic. The second movie is considered to be one of the greatest superhero movies of all time. And the third movie was a great disappointment, because the third movie just destroyed everything that the first two movies worked on. And there was plans to make a fourth movie, but due to Sam Raimi's uncooperation to continue with the Spider-Man franchise, it was eventually dropped, and we got the Amazing Spider-Man, which was also cancelled, and we got Spider-Man Tom Holland, which I have to say things did work out for the best, because Tom Holland's Spider-Man is still considered to be the best Spider-Man interpretation out there. And last but definitely not least, we have the X-Men trilogy. Now I'm only going to touch on the first three X-Men movies: X-Men 1, X2 United, and X-Men The Last Stand. Now, the X-Men 1 was a great movie, and it is considered to be one of the greatest superhero movies of all time. But X2, that is considered to be the greatest movie of all time, because it just pushed the boundaries on everything that the X-Men could do, and it helped us understand mutants in a better way than ever before. X2 really take the mold, but X-Men Last Stand, this will be the first try at making the Phoenix on the big screen, and it was a massive failure. They will go on to make a second try with X-Men: The Dark Phoenix, but that was a massive failure as well. X-Men is probably my favorite franchise out of all, because X-Men is one of my favorite superhero teams. And the third movie, that was a great disappointment. But all these movies kick-started the MCU, and that's probably for the best, because now the MCU is the greatest superhero movies ever done. DC still trying to find their markings, but I really have to say that the MCU, that if it weren't for these movies, we probably would not have the MCU, so I have to be grateful for that at least.